studio this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome
Oh,
to
thanks
the
for having me.
busyness of Windsor morning.
Absolutely.
So you've been involved in the food bank and the shelter for a number of years. I wonder if you can paint a picture of what you're seeing in 2024.
Sure. We're definitely seeing an increase in usage within our food banks. We serve 600 families a month, and that's up 30% from last year. And in chatting with my colleagues across the province, this is a very common theme that we're seeing in the food banks. The usage is up. We're seeing a new demographic using our food bank. So a lot of younger families are coming in to use the food bank. Many first-time users now using the food bank. That combined is a bit of a red flag for us, and meaning that, the services that we're providing are so much in demand now, right? And I think a lot, like food insecurity, as you were saying earlier, is higher than it ever has been. And it's really incumbent upon us, the Salvation Army and other food banks out there to be able to serve, our population in terms of what their needs are from a nutrition perspective. Yeah.
So when people come in for the first time and you're having conversations with them, what are you hearing from them as to why
Yeah.
they've turned to the food bank now?
Yeah, a wide variety of stories. I had a gentleman who came in just yesterday who I was speaking with, and he unfortunately had been recently laid off. He had income through EI, but it's only 55% that he's collecting through EI. And he was the sole breadwinner for his family, and he's being put, as are many, in a position where they have to make very difficult decisions, impossible decisions. Do I go and spend my money on groceries, or do I spend my money on rent or my mortgage? Which do I do? So that's an impossible decision to make. So our role is to try to lessen that burden a bit for people, and ensure that they're getting nutrition on their tables and they're able to feed their families.
Take us into the frame of mind people are in when they come in. I imagine it's desperate times for them at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. It is desperate times for most. So many don't know what the services are that are available to them. They may have been referred to us and said, you can get some help here at the Salvation Army. Much of our job is sitting with a person, doing a needs determination assessment with that person, and getting them hooked up with the right service at the right time, right? So that may be a food bank. It may also be some of our internal services that we offer, some counseling, some addictions work. It depends on what's being presented by the client. And if we cannot provide that service to the client, we're referring into community to ensure they're getting the help that they need.
What other help are you able to give them? I mean, obviously you're having conversations with them and you're giving them food and you have lots of services available. How else are you able to help people?
Yeah, so we have a number of programs that we help. One is the Pathway of Hope, and that is very much a case management program where we're sitting with our clients and again doing that needs determination assessment, and trying to prioritize what the needs are for that person. We're again referring them into community, or we're providing them with the help that we can on site, and that might be some counseling, it might be some health related. We have a number of doctors that come into our center who are helping the people who are either residing at our center or are in need of that assistance. But ultimately, we're looking to ensure that we're painting a path with that client so that they're accessing the right service at the right time. We also have another program called Soap with Hope, and that is a shower service for anyone in the community who wants to access that service. They may be in desperate times, may be homeless, etc., and just need to be able to stop and clean up a bit, and we offer that to people.
You're one of the food banks benefiting from our food drive campaign, but you also rely heavily on the kettle campaign. Your kettles are already out there.
Yeah,
I've seen them.
they are,
And I
yes.
also want to thank you for having the tap at the kettles, because
Yes,
I'm always, as soon as I
absolutely.
see the kettle, I'm like, oh no, I don't have cash. And then I can tap and go. So I'm wondering how they're faring compared to previous years, given the demand.
Yeah, people are being very generous, which is absolutely wonderful. We are a bit behind in what we have seen in the last year, but that's okay. There's still plenty of time to go. We go right up until the 24th of December, so certainly encouraging people to give where they can, to give at our kettles.
What's the target that you try and make off the kettles?
Yeah, this year it's $240,000 that we're looking to make, and that money goes directly into our programming. Right, any money that is donated at a kettle is in Windsor is going to stay in Windsor, where it would come back into our program or even go directly into our food bank. The food banks are not funded. Right. We're very thankful to be part of the association, which is absolutely wonderful. It brings some consistency in terms of the work that we do. But they're not funded by the government, by municipal, provincial, federal. We're 100% reliant on donations, and the need has never been greater.
Do you think you'll hit that target, 240,000?
We're very hopeful.
Okay.
I think we're on track. It is early days, but we got a few weeks left in the campaign, so we're very hopeful that we'll be able to meet it.
Okay. What needs to be done to tackle food insecurity? I know it's one of those, seems like such a big question. It's like when we say, how do we tackle homelessness? It's so big, it's so complex, there's so many layers. But from your perspective, seeing it every day, what's the answers to you, or what's the one thing that you think if we could just, what?
It's a very difficult question because it's a multi-layered issue, right? And you mentioned housing. And I think that affordable housing is one of the key elements that needs to be addressed. If people have a roof over their head, that's one step closer to being stable. Ultimately, there are a number of community agencies that are out there helping people address this issue. If we're all working in collaboration, which we are for the most part, that positions us better to be able to serve the client as best as possible.
Jason, thank you so much for coming in this morning. And thank you for all the work that you do to help try and bring food to people's table this time of year.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Jason Linton is the Executive Director of the Salvation Army's Windsor Center of Hope, one of the organizations benefiting from the CBC's Make the Season Kind food campaign. Again, you can donate by dropping off food tonight at the park, or you can also bring it by our station. You can also do a cash donation by going to our website. Our musical guests, Billy and Jody Raffoul, joining us again. Well, one of them, Billy, is here. What do you have for us, Billy?
This is another new song. This one's called How About a Drink? Now if I'm being honest, I thought that true love was a thing of the past. Just for the weekend, maybe a season, nothing lasts. You can let it drive you mad. Sometimes it is simple as, how about a drink? Would that be alright? I had a smoke, she had a light. I didn't think much at the time. How about a drink? Turn to a hell of a drink, turn to a hell of a night. Clothes that fell to the floor are now tucked in a drawer, table set for two. And I tell stupid jokes to win over your foes and hope they approve. Oh, back. I'm just really glad